There's a strange power some people carry, an unspoken gravity that draws eyes the moment they enter a room. They don't have to speak, gesture, or demand notice. The air around them seems to shift, conversations falter for a fraction of a second, and everyone feels it. The presence of someone who does not beg for respect but commands it. What is that? Confidence? Charisma? Authority? No, something quieter, rarer, more primal. It's an invisible language older than speech itself. A code written in posture, presence, and energy. It's the unspoken art of being felt without uttering a single word. Imagine walking into a room filled with chatter. People scroll through phones, exchange half-hearted smiles, their energy scattered and fragile. Then someone enters, calm, self-contained, almost still. Their silence isn't empty. It's full of certainty, full of depth. Without trying, they change the atmosphere. That is the essence of silent respect. But here lies the paradox. We live in a world obsessed with expression, where everyone is speaking, posting, explaining, convincing. Yet the more we speak, the less we seem to be heard. The more we try to prove our worth, the more invisible we become. Respect, once earned through silence and presence, now drowns beneath the noise of desperate validation. So how does one reclaim this ancient, wordless power? The first step is understanding that silence is not the absence of communication. It is a form of it. Silence transmits emotion, confidence, even authority with greater precision than language ever could. We are biological instruments of perception. We read microexpressions, posture, breath rhythm, pupil dilation, the tilt of a chin. Long before words evolved, these were our signals of strength and safety. When someone's body speaks coherence, when their energy, gaze, and movement align without friction, we instinctively register trust and respect. But most people's bodies tell another story. Their movements betray uncertainty. Their shoulders reveal hidden tension. Their eyes search for approval. They speak with words that sound confident but carry the vibration of fear. This internal contradiction is what strips away unspoken power. To earn instant respect without saying a word, one must first conquer the battlefield within, the restless need to prove something. Because the body never lies. You cannot fake what you haven't embodied. You can mimic posture or eye contact, but people feel truth. Authentic respect begins where self-justification ends. Consider the stillness of a lion. It doesn't roar to assert dominance. It doesn't need to. Its calmness is its authority. Stillness signals control not of others but of oneself. The person who has mastered their own inner chaos radiates a field of gravity that others cannot resist. To cultivate this, one must practice deliberate restraint, not of expression but of reaction. Every time you resist the impulse to fill silence, explain yourself or chase attention, you are forging invisible strength. You are communicating through presence. I am enough. People sense that immediately. It's unsettling because it mirrors what they lack: inner equilibrium. They respect it because it's rare. They're drawn to it because it's honest. Respect flows not to the loudest, but to the most centered. There is a subtle magnetism in those who seem entirely at peace with themselves. They occupy space differently, not through volume or movement, but through energy density. Their silence says what words cannot, that they have nothing to prove and nothing to fear. As the philosopher Blaise Pascal once wrote, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Those who have conquered that inability carry an aura that demands reverence. The journey to earn instant respect begins there, in stillness, in restraint, in the quiet mastery of your own energy. Because before anyone can respect you, they must feel that you respect yourself. Before a single word leaves your lips, the world has already judged you. Not with cruelty, but with instinct. Your body, your stance, your gaze. All of it whispers to the subconscious minds of others. Am I safe with this person? Should I defer, challenge, or ignore them? We think respect is earned through logic, but it begins in biology. The human brain processes nonverbal signals 5,000 times faster than speech. Every flicker of your eye, every micro-movement of your shoulders, Every millisecond of hesitation is decoded instantly. You are communicating constantly whether you realize it or not. So, what does the body of a respected person communicate? It's not the exaggerated posture of arrogance or the rigid stiffness of intimidation. True presence is grounded, effortless, almost quiet. It's the still body that moves with precision, the eyes that hold, not pierce, the gaze of others, and the subtle control of space that says, "I belong here." Picture someone standing in a crowd. They're not the tallest or the flashiest, but there's something about them. The way their shoulders are set, the calm rhythm of their breathing, the unhurried way they look around. They seem fully there. While others fidget or posture, they simply exist, anchored, aware, unconcerned. That's presence. That's silent power. This kind of respect starts with awareness of your body as an instrument of energy, not just motion. Every habit, slouching, darting eyes, restless hands, leaks anxiety into the room. People don't interpret these consciously, but they feel them. Your physical coherence either amplifies or undermines your internal authority. To cultivate it, begin observing yourself not in mirrors, but in moments. Notice when your body contracts, when someone challenges you, interrupts you, or dismisses you. Do you shrink, tense, or compensate with over-explanation? Those reflexes betray deeper insecurities. Mastery begins not by correcting them instantly, but by becoming aware of them. Stillness is born from awareness. One of the most overlooked expressions of respect-worthy energy is economy of movement. Those who respect themselves don't fidget. They don't rush. They act with deliberate economy, conserving their energy like it's sacred. Every movement means something. Every gesture has weight. People notice. The same principle applies to space. Individuals who command respect never collapse inward or retreat subtly when others approach. They maintain spatial integrity. They don't dominate the environment, but neither do they shrink from it. It's not about taking up more space. It's about fully inhabiting the space you're already in. Then there's the gaze. Eye contact isn't about staring, it's about seeing. People can sense when they are being looked at versus being seen. The eyes of a centered person hold attention because they project presence rather than need. They're grounded, curious, and quiet. This doesn't intimidate, it stabilizes. Others subconsciously relax because they sense certainty in your stillness. Breath, too, plays a silent role. Shallow breathing signals anxiety. Deep, rhythmic breath communicates composure. When you breathe calmly, you unconsciously invite others to match your rhythm. This is why true leaders calm rooms simply by existing in them. They regulate energy through their own nervous systems. It's almost mystical how these microsignals translate to instant respect. But the mechanism is simple: your body mirrors your mind. Those who have reconciled with their own worth broadcast it in posture, in gaze, in breath. Respect is not demanded, it's transmitted. In every culture, this truth has been known instinctively. Samurai called it zanshin, a state of total awareness and calm readiness. Modern psychologists call it embodied confidence. But the essence remains unchanged. Your body must tell the same story your soul believes. As Friedrich Nietzsche wrote, all credibility, all good conscience, all evidence of truth comes only from the senses. Your body is that evidence. If you respect yourself physically, through posture, presence, and calm, you become living proof of your own truth. When you walk into a room next time, don't try to be confident. Instead, occupy yourself fully. Let your stillness speak for you. Words can lie, but presence never does. Before people hear you, before they even see you clearly, they feel you. There's a subtle frequency that every human being emits, an invisible field of emotional energy that communicates more than words or gestures ever could. You've experienced it yourself. Walking into a room where the air feels tense though no one has spoken, or meeting someone who instantly makes you feel at ease without a single word exchanged. That is energy, raw, unfiltered presence. This energetic signature is the deepest layer of respect. You cannot fake it. You cannot rehearse it. It's what radiates from the sum of your inner state, the quiet confidence or hidden chaos vibrating beneath your stillness. Respect begins here, long before it becomes visible in posture or expression. Most people move through the world energetically fragmented. Their minds pull in one direction, their emotions in another, their bodies in yet another. This fragmentation is felt by everyone around them as a subtle incoherence, a kind of static. Others sense it instantly. When someone's energy feels off, we instinctively withhold trust and respect, not out of judgment, but out of primal caution. In contrast, the rare person who has aligned their inner world radiates coherence. Their thoughts, emotions, and body pulse in harmony. They project no hidden agenda, no restless striving. Their energy feels clean. People gravitate toward them without understanding why. Respect flows naturally because humans instinctively respect congruence. Think of energy like music. When you are calm, confident, and self-assured, your frequency is steady, like a low, resonant tone. Others feel safe around it. But when you are insecure or self-conscious, your energy flickers, like dissonant noise. You might smile and say the right words, but the underlying signal contradicts the performance. People may not consciously know why they feel uneasy, but they do. Their instincts detect truth before logic does. Cultivating an energetic signature that commands respect requires emotional mastery. It begins with the art of containment, the ability to feel emotions deeply without letting them leak uncontrollably into your environment. The most respected individuals are not emotionless. They are disciplined. Their anger doesn't explode. It burns quietly, controlled. Their fear doesn't make them shrink. It sharpens their awareness. Their excitement doesn't scatter their focus. It fuels their composure. This control of inner current creates a magnetic field. When you can feel emotion without being consumed by it, you emanate stability. And stability, in a world of chaos, is power. Energy management is also about what you allow into your space. The conversations you engage in, the media you consume, the people you surround yourself with, all of it influences your frequency. If your environment constantly drains you, your energy becomes thin, reactive, and fragmented. Protecting your mental and emotional atmosphere isn't selfish. It's essential. You cannot project strength if your energy is constantly leaking into meaningless noise. The simplest yet most profound practice to refine your energetic presence is awareness of your state. Throughout the day, pause and ask, what am I radiating right now? Is it anxiety, need, calm, confidence? This self-check trains your nervous system to recalibrate toward groundedness. Over time, this awareness transforms into instinct. Your presence stabilizes. People sense it. They start to respect you without knowing why. There's a calm gravity to someone who has learned to command their own energy. They enter a room and the collective pulse shifts slightly. Slower, more deliberate, more alert. It's not charisma in the traditional sense. It's something older, almost spiritual. It's the energy of someone who is whole within themselves. As the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu once wrote, "He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty." The might that commands instant respect is not domination, it's self-mastery. The quiet, unshakable power of a person whose energy remains unmoved by chaos. When your energetic field is aligned, when your emotions obey your awareness instead of your fears, you no longer seek respect. You become it. Others feel your certainty and instinctively mirror it. That's how silent respect is born. Not through dominance, but through the peaceful strength of inner order. Silent respect is not sustained by appearance alone. It's reinforced by behavior. The way you move through moments, handle tension, and respond to life's small provocations becomes your living proof of strength. Dignity is not posture. It is discipline. It is how you treat silence, mistakes, and discomfort when no one is watching. True authority doesn't shout. It moves differently. Watch those who command instant respect in any setting: executives, monks, soldiers, artists. What they all share is not wealth, status, or beauty, but composure. They navigate pressure without broadcasting it. They make decisions without drama. They leave no emotional debris in their wake. This is the discipline of dignity. Mastering your reactions so deeply that no circumstance can pull you off center. The world measures respect by how you behave when you're tested. Anyone can appear confident when life is kind. But when the air thickens with conflict, or when someone disrespects you, your reaction reveals everything. A person who can absorb tension without lashing out earns respect instantly. Not because they suppress emotion, but because they govern it. There is immense power in the calm refusal to be provoked. Anger, defensiveness, and over-explanation all signal insecurity. But the one who remains grounded under fire speaks the oldest language of leadership: restraint. Consider this paradox: people often mistake silence for weakness. Yet silence, when chosen deliberately, is the sharpest form of control. The person who can hold their peace while others lose theirs silently declares, "I am not ruled by this moment." In that restraint lies authority, and in that authority lies respect. But dignity isn't just about self-restraint. It's also about integrity of conduct. Small, consistent gestures, keeping your word, arriving on time, maintaining calm eye contact, are what build your unspoken reputation. When you carry yourself with reliability, people sense it before you speak. Your presence becomes synonymous with trust. Every subtle action teaches others how to treat you. The way you sit during disagreement, how you react when interrupted, how you handle the mistakes of others. These are your silent lessons. Respect is never demanded. It is trained into the perception of others through patterns of behavior. One of the most potent forms of silent authority is underreaction. When something goes wrong and everyone panics, the person who stays composed instantly becomes the emotional center of gravity. People look to them instinctively, not because they're louder, but because they're steady. Calmness is contagious. It reorders chaos. In that stillness, leadership is born. You can see this truth reflected in nature. A mountain does not shout to prove its height. A storm bends trees, but the mountain remains unmoved. It doesn't resist, it exists. Those who embody such grounded calm communicate, "I am anchored, not because the world is gentle, but because I know who I am." This discipline also requires emotional humility. Dignity isn't pride. It's quiet confidence that doesn't depend on validation. You don't need to prove rightness or superiority. Instead, you express self-respect by choosing peace over performance. When someone challenges you, you don't shrink, but you don't perform either. You simply remain. This level of restraint unnerves people. It dismantles ego battles because you refuse to participate. Your refusal to compete for dominance creates dominance. It shifts the dynamic from reaction to observation. The person who doesn't react gains control of the moment every time. And perhaps the most understated dimension of silent dignity is grace, the ability to treat others with respect even when they haven't earned it. That doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. It means refusing to let others dictate your emotional tone. You can be firm without venom, assertive without aggression. Grace under pressure signals unshakable confidence. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." True power lies in the refusal to descend into pettiness. Every time you choose composure over chaos, you reinforce an invisible hierarchy. The world begins to look up to you, not because you dominate it, but because you are not of it. When your actions whisper dignity, you no longer need to speak of self-respect. The world already knows. It feels it in your calm, your control, your quiet consistency. Long after a conversation ends, after words fade and faces blur in memory, what remains is the feeling someone left behind. That is the legacy of presence, the invisible imprint of who you were in that moment. Some people walk into your life like noise and leave nothing behind. Others pass through like quiet storms and alter the atmosphere forever. Their silence echoes. Their stillness lingers. That is respect in its purest form. Earning respect without words is not a trick, a performance, or a strategy. It's a way of being. It's the culmination of inner mastery, embodied energy, and dignified conduct converging into one seamless truth. You are enough as you are. And when a person truly believes that, they stop chasing respect and start radiating it. The irony is that the more you try to impress others, the less they are impressed. The more you chase validation, the further respect runs from you. Why? because desperation has a scent. Tells others you do not believe in your own worth. But the person who stands still, who no longer bargains for approval, becomes unshakable. They emit an authority so quiet it unsettles the insecure and inspires the grounded. True respect has nothing to do with dominance or control. It's not about making others bow. It's about making them rise in your presence. When someone feels calmer, clearer, or more aware simply by being near you, you have transcended the need for validation. You have become a mirror in which others glimpse their better selves. That is the final evolution of silent respect. It no longer revolves around you. It emanates through you. Such presence is not achieved overnight. It's carved slowly through choices: how you carry yourself when tired, how you listen when you disagree, how you walk away when ego tempts you to stay. Each act of restraint, each moment of awareness, shapes your energetic signature. Over time, this quiet consistency forges an aura that speaks louder than your words ever could. People will begin to treat you differently, though they won't be able to say why. They'll speak softer around you, think more carefully, carry themselves with slightly more awareness. That's the influence of presence. It changes others by its mere example. Respect of this kind is self-sustaining. You don't need to maintain it through control or performance. It grows naturally because it's rooted in authenticity. You no longer seek to be seen, you see. You no longer crave to be understood, you understand. You no longer need to dominate, you illuminate. This quiet evolution is what separates the admired from the forgettable. To sustain such presence, you must also embrace solitude. Silence is both the seed and the soil of respect. Only in silence do you confront yourself fully. Only there do you dissolve the illusions of status, power, and validation. The one who has made peace with their own company is never lonely, never desperate, never reactive. That peace translates outward as quiet confidence, the kind that humbles arrogance and comforts anxiety in others. In time, people will remember not your words, not your accomplishments, but the way they felt in your presence. Did they feel small or expanded, rushed or grounded, dismissed or deeply seen? That feeling becomes your unspoken legacy. To walk this path is to accept a higher standard, to be deliberate with your energy, disciplined with your emotions, and dignified in your silence. Every room you enter becomes more ordered because of you. Every conversation becomes clearer. Every silence becomes meaningful. You stop speaking merely to be heard and start existing to remind others what stillness feels like. And in that rare, grounded stillness, respect no longer needs to be earned. It simply exists. People don't respect you because they're told to. They respect you because their instincts have no choice. They sense truth. They sense peace. They sense themselves reflected in the calmness you carry. As the philosopher Epictetus wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your reaction, or your quiet lack of one, becomes your reputation. Over time, your silence tells your story, your stillness becomes your language, and your presence becomes your proof. That is how you earn respect without saying a word, by becoming the kind of person whose silence commands attention, whose calm changes the room, and whose presence endures long after they've gone. Because true power doesn't speak.